Okay, so Acts chapter 13, verse 16. All right, so Paul gets an invitation to speak in the synagogue there. Verse 16. Then Paul stood up and beckoning with his hand said, Men of Israel, and ye that fear God, give audience. So he's saying, hey, everybody, listen what I got to say. Have ears to hear. And then, verse 17. The God of this people of Israel chose our fathers and exalted the people when they dwelt as strangers in the land of Egypt, and with a high arm brought he them out of it. Right, so he's starting off with some history that they should all know. They should all know the history. Right? The children of Israel were stuck in Egypt, right? And with the hand of God, he brought them out. And then verse 18. And about the time of 40 years suffered he their manners in the wilderness. Right? So, we talk about that so many times, right? In the wilderness. They just kept rebelling against God. Even after seeing all the signs, wonders, miracles, parting of the Red Sea, getting water from a rock. I mean, that's what he's saying. Suffered he their manners. So he suffered, he put up with their manners in the wilderness. And then verse 19. And when he had destroyed 7 nations in the land of Canaan, he divided their land to them by lot. Okay. Because remember, he promised him to, the land, the promised land, flowing with milk and honey, but he had to get rid of the enemies of God that were occupying the land first, right? So that's why he's talking about the 7 nations, right, that he had to destroy. And then verse 20. And after that he gave unto them judges about the space of 450 years until Samuel the prophet. He's kind of fast forwarding through the history, right? So now then he's talking about the judges, right? So God gave him the land. Then they gave him some judges, 450 years until Samuel the prophet. And then verse 21. And afterward they desired a king, and God gave unto them Saul the son of Sith, a man of the tribe of Benjamin, by the space of 40 years. Okay. He's still going through the history, right? Because they had the judges, which that's what God wanted them to have, the judges, but they wanted to be like the rest of the world, so they wanted a king, right? So that's why he said they desired a king. He doesn't say God desired them to have a king, but they wanted a king. So God gave them Saul. He was the first king, and he ruled for 40 years. And verse 22. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony and said, I have found David the son of Jesse, a man after mine own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. So he's still getting him the history. He's like, yeah, remember, it's David. He was a man after God's own heart, and he's going to do what I want him to do, my will. He shall fulfill all my will. And then verse 23. Of this man's seed hath God, according to his promise, raised unto Israel a Savior, Jesus. The seed. It's just he's talking back about the seed again. Of this man's seed, right? Because we talked about last time. Because the seed of Abraham, right? The seed of Abraham that was God promised, that was Jesus Christ. He's the seed. Because He's in his genealogy. Because Jesus was because he's God manifest in the flesh. So Jesus' flesh came all the way from Abraham. That was his great grandfather to the 42nd power, if you want to put it that way, right? And so he's also comes from David is in that genealogy too. So that's what he's saying. Of this man's seed hath God, according to his promise, raised unto Israel a Savior. So it's all prophesied. Everything's prophesied about the Savior to come. And Paul is telling them, you remember the scriptures? You prophesied, made a promise. The seed of David would become a Savior. Well, that was Jesus, who was just recently crucified. That was him.